All right. Episode 8. Season 3. Third season, I mean. Lou and Shots from the past. Made already 2 mistakes, but it's okay. Blood manifest. Only a direct threat to others can be grounds for mandatory medical intervention. Cardinal Unal. The act of hiding the truth is the fear of stepping into the light. Episode 8. The Laboratory. Wow. After driving up the hill, they got out of the car and climbed a little higher. The road made a gentle loop down to the factory buildings, but first they wanted to look around the area. It's amazing. I love that it's a glitchy picture. Everything is glitching a little bit. Yeah, it looks gloomy and depressing. Jonsier smiled rarely. Wait, I forget.
Were you expecting moved lawns and lemonade stands? Everything looks just like it does everywhere here outside like the perimeter. If anything, it's better preserved, I had to say. But we are not here for the beautiful sights of pre-storm industrialism. We are looking for the remains of a laboratory that was set up several years ago.
Mark asked everyone at once.
Any ideas about where to start the inspection?
What's in the building on the left? The large underground rooms? Maybe the building on the right? The large underground rooms.
I guess.
He nodded at Lou, then turned to Daniel.
Mademoiselle Weiss? I agree.
Do we have the blueprints of the buildings?
Daniel shook her head.
No. Where would we get them from?
From those who set up the laboratory here.
Unfortunately, they didn't leave behind any documentation. We only have general description from the expedition that once discovered the plant.
To Farouk, this sounded strange. But then again, the entire mission seemed weird to him. After all laboratories were, one way or another, within the church's jurisdiction. Why would the Inquisitor have so little information? However, as Jonsier had assured them, the officer didn't have the habit of asking unnecessary questions. Scratching his shaved chin, Farouk said thoughtfully, "Yes.
If I were to bring vehicles here with cargo or people, I'd park them under some kind of roofs. It's more convenient that way."
He pointed at a low structure.
The roof there is well preserved and the gate is wide. Now let's drive out over there. Let's see what's inside.
Yes, I really like this Farouk, by the way. She's very nice. The beams of 4 flashlights dispersed the darkness of the room.
A farmer workshop?
Probably. Monsieur Jonsier, look.
Farouk's cone of light illuminated a rusty canister covered in dust. It had clearly been there for many years. And yet, it was equally clear that it hadn't been there since the genetic storm.
Did we find it?
I'd like to believe so. However, it's not a given that the laboratory was here or even nearby.
These could just be traces of a research expedition. Well, at least it's something.
Lou muttered under her breath.
Wherever a human foot lands, garbage is left behind. We survived the storm, but we did learn to clean up after ourselves. Maybe nature has a good reason not to like us.
Jean-Pierre heard her and interrupted.
Reed, stop grumbling. You sound like an old patrolman under the rain. Findings like these are good for us.
She snapped.
I wasn't talking to you, I was just thinking.
Stop thinking. Start doing.
I am. You are the one distracting me.
Ah, what a bore. Why is he pestering me? Maybe he wants you. I don't know. Or he don't like you, really. They went in different directions. Along the far wall stood strange machines, clutched with dirt and overgrown with moss. Lou was about to turn back when she noticed a box, specifically a plastic box that had a lid with latches.
It's unlabeled, but it was clearly brought here from New Paris.
Inside were translucent tubes, each one slightly longer than a hand, with metal plugs at the ends.
Line sticks. I wonder if they still work.
Lou turned to Farouk as he came up from behind her.
What? A chemical light source. You turn the gap and the tube starts glowing.
He shrugged his shoulders doubtfully.
After all these years, it depends on their composition, but I hope at least some of them will still work.
He took several sticks and stuffed them into his pockets. Lou did the same. Jean-Pierre called out from the opposite corner of the room. That's something here. Okay, guys, I'm tired to talk like this, so imagine I'm making it. Farouk, how do you work with him? He's unbearable. People who are liked by everyone scare me. And you can get used to a complex personality. It's worse when there is no personality at all. As everyone went up to him, Mark shone his light on a heavy steel door. It's not as old as everything else around it. Even the paint is still intact. It was definitely installed after the storm. Mark nodded. We are not here empty-handed. Mademoiselle Reed found this. Let's see. He took out a light stick, crunched the cap, and threw it on the floor. Oh, good. How many of them do we have? Unfortunately, not many. Farouk examined the door, then glanced at the Inquisitor. Shall we try to open it? The two men pulled at the door. Lou watched in amusement, her hands crossed over her chest as Mark and Farouk glowed as they strained. The door didn't budge an inch. A minute later, with his hands on his knees, as he breathed heavily, Jean-Pierre finally turned to the psionic. Damn, Reed. Are you done trying to prove yourself? Have you finally started using your brain? Bloom. Daniel burst out laughing. I'm waiting. Yes, I'll give it a try. Lou stood opposite the door. Okay. Put the handle toward you. Put the entire door toward you. Deform the hinges. Deform the door. I have got a vector. So deform the door is a vector, I think. Oh my god. What happened? You saw it. You saw her face. I don't know what you saw, guys, but it was very strange. Oh my god. It scared me. Yes. Deform the door. An unpleasant metallic groan swept through the workshop. Yes. The door shook, sending rust and pieces of peeled off paint falling everywhere. The psionic increased her efforts. The screeching sound hurt her ears. The door distorted slightly, but it seemed to have gotten even more jammed. The steel was too strong for Lou's telekinesis. Damn. Shit, I failed, but I tried my best. No one made fun of her, Jean-Cyr asked sympathetically. How are you? Generally speaking, I'm fine. My eyes are just a little... That's a nut then. There is no need to try again. We will cut it. It's a pity and a waste of resources. That's okay. After all, we expected to face something like this. Maybe if I try to do something else... okay. Anyway, we are playing. How we are playing. Farouk took off his backpack and pulled out a gas torch. No, I want to replay. I want to replay. Maybe I will replay, guys. Don't hate me. I will replay. Okay? And we will... Yes, restart the episode. La 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 la. Neff. La 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 la. A best, thank you. That's so truth. Okay, anyway, I have a lot of cups, I don't care. It's okay. I don't even think deform is vector. Pull is vector for sure. Maybe. There is vector and form. Yeah. Form and vector. Okay. I will understand. Okay. Deform the hinges. We can deform. Pull the handle toward you. Pull the entire door toward you. I think we should deform this. And unpleasant. I made again something wrong. And unpleasant. It's okay. It works. An unpleasant metallic screech erupted from the door, hurting her ears and echoing off the walls of the workshop. One hinge bent like a screw. Metallic dust fell off the welding seams. Lou increased her efforts. Form, fuck. Okay. At least I made it by myself. The rusty lock failed and twisted, popping out of place. So... what is that? 85. 85 with Jonas. Okay. I have 18 vector and 2. All right. The door suddenly swung open with a roaring groan. Lou winced at the painfully loud sound. How are you? How are your eyes? Fine. Great. Farouk looked through the doorway. Are we going in, Monsieur Jonsieur? They cautiously descended 2 flights of stairs and found themselves in a tunnel. As they advanced, they came to a fork in the corridors. They noticed some doors around them. Danielle pointed her flashlight at the switchboard hanging on the wall. Yes, of course, Fairuzan. Fairuzan. Are you going to check for electricity? No, it would be useless. Even if you go back up and find a hydraulic turbine on the river, you won't be able to start it. Regardless, it's more likely that the turbine was dismantled when the laboratory closed down. What about batteries? Even gel ones would be drained by now. Waze turned her eyes back to the panel. I just want to figure out how everything here worked. She pointed at the small signs next to the toggle switches and levers. There are rooms assigned to each one, and judging by how many of them there are, we have quite a large area to cover. I think it's clear that we have found the site we were looking for, so there is no need to go to the military base. But that's no reason to relax. We have to collect materials, including items from within the actual laboratory. To speed things along, let's split up in pairs. There is concrete and metal all around us, so radio signals may not pass through. Let's meet back here in half an hour. Farouk, you go with Mademoiselle Waze. Reed, after you. Mark and Lou moved in one direction. Daniel and AC officer went the opposite way. Oi, just tell me you want to be with me. It wasn't clear how that underground space was used before this. He wants her. Perhaps there were workshops there, just like the one above them. Or maybe it was a technical space for communications. Either way, the people who later took over those basements removed everything they deemed unnecessary. They left behind ordinary furniture, tables and chairs, empty cabinets, and other things that could easily be found in any institution in New Paris. In addition, they sometimes came across decaying clothing that looked like lab coats and overalls. Jonsieur, slowly moving his flashlight beam from side to side, said, "It looks like the most valuable things were taken. The rest was cheaper to just abandon. Yeah, there are no computers and no papers either." Lou had never considered herself overly impressionable, but the atmosphere there felt oppressive. There was something about it that got under her skin and pierced her to the bone, draining her strength with its melancholy. Ugh. She immediately frowned. Okay, pull yourself together. This is not place for fragile flowers. What do we have here? Shine a light, Reed. Lou took out one of the light sticks and turned the cap as Farouk had shown her. The glow stick didn't work. Lou took out another one. That worked. Yeah, a toilet. And what's here? Mark pushed up Mark pushed open some doors. Lou threw the glowing tube onto the floor of the spacious room. Long tables, plates, a half-rotten jacket hung on the back of one of the chairs. A dining room? Or a dining? A dining room? There is probably nothing interesting in here, but let's... He didn't even finish speaking before disappearing behind the open door leading to the kitchen. For a few seconds, Lou was left alone in the silence and darkness. Puffing out her cheeks, she sighed slowly. Yes, a dream job. And most importantly, an ideological one. A soft ringing sound came from the kitchen, accompanied by Mark's voice, swearing. Lou shook her head and called out, Monsieur Joncier, are you still alive? I'm fine. Shine lights into the corners, look at the cabinet along the wall. Check the jacket. Okay, cabinets. Plates, more plates, and more plates. Too many. Lou tried to estimate how many people that dining room could accommodate. About 20 people, even more, maybe 50? What are you muttering about? I'm saying that there are a lot of plates. That means there were a lot of people working here. Yes, a logical conclusion. Shine light in the corners. There was nothing but dust and dirt. Let's see, what do we have here? Nearby, under one of the tables, there was something small and light lying on the ground. Lou bent down. She got down on all fours and carefully picked up a piece of paper. A gum wrapper. Raper. They still make this shit. Straightening up a little sooner than she should have, Lou bumped her head on the table. Damn it. Fuck, I definitely have some kind of paranormal connection with tables. Did I scratch one as a child? So now they are all getting back to me? At me? Yes, Lou. I'm all the time have problems with water. All the time. Water is trying to kill my keyboard and other stuff. Yes. I'm coughing. Oh my god. What's wrong today with me? The Inquisitor exited the kitchen. In response to Lou's question, look, he shook his head. Thanks for follow. Welcome. I threw my shower head once when I was an emo teenager, and I have never had a peaceful shower since. Oh, I remember you said you hate showers. Yeah, I remember. Lol. Nothing interesting there. Let's move on, Riyadh. They came upon a corridor with several rooms. Each had a pair of bunk beds and 4 lockers, the kind you had usually see in locker rooms. Yeah. Some were locked. A light telekinesis was enough to open them. Shoes, bath robes, mold. That was all that was stored inside them. Most of the lockers were completely empty. Let's go back to the stairs. After a couple of minutes, Daniel and Farouk joined them. We found nothing worth mentioning. Did you find anything? Over there. He pointed at the nearest door. The security room was also used as a weapon storage room. Of course, there are no weapons right now, but To emphasize his point, he raised a finger. There are machine gun mounts on the walls. Not just a pistol and stun batons, but machine guns. That's serious stuff. There are several officers further down. Unfortunately, there were no documents in them, just empty folders. A safe was empty and open, and the keys were just lying there. There are computers, but they don't have hard drives. We expected that. We also found a locked door with an electronic lock. We didn't open it. Show me. Farouk used one of the light sticks. Daniel pointed to a metal box on the side of the door. To open it, you have to connect it to a power source. We have batteries. Will they do? They should. That's why we brought them. The real difficulty lies elsewhere. This is a smart lock. Even if we enter the right code, the lock sends a signal to a security contact. It will only open if it receives confirmation from it. We will have to outsmart it. Can you handle it? The system is old, but yes, I can. I just hope the automation still works. And if it doesn't, Farouk, do you have a gas torch? The officer reached back to pat his backpack. Yes, so I'm not sure it will do the trick though. That the steel here seems to be armored. Mark took out the batteries and asked, "How many do you need, Mademoiselle Weiss?" Now let's see. She took out a screwdriver and removed the lock's protective panel. Then they connected its components to the battery terminals. Yeah. Very chilling. This is for the lock. And this goes to the door mechanism. Or here? No, that's right. After connecting the tablet to the lock, we sat on the floor. Her fingers ran quickly over the keyboard. Do you hear the music well, by the way, guys? Can we help in any way? Daniel was surprised. How? Farouk hesitated. When he failed to find a reasonable answer, he shrugged. I could hold something. Give me 5 minutes. You can pray to the United One that everything will work out. Just do it quietly, please. The silence was broken by an electronic beep and the strained, grating sound of servo motors. The reanimated door creaked as it slowly moved aside. Daniel stood up and stepped back. As if by force of habit, Farouk adjusted to the belt of the machine gun, moving the weapon so it would be easier and faster for him to grab the handle. All of this makes me kind of... Mark rolled his eyes, then looked at her. Makes you what, Reed? Mark, what's wrong with you? I'm just trying to... Fuck. Yes, he is. You have a wife, Mark. Don't play with me, Mark. Nervous. This place makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. Farouk? He answered with deliberate cheerfulness. There is nothing, of course. What could be here anyway? I was simply readjusting my weapon. Monsieur shook his head. Simply right. You have scared even the impenetrable reed, and she's not the type to scare easily. She's not even afraid to touch corpses. Everything's fine. Why, remember, yes, how I made it? Maybe he's thinking about leaving her already while seeing that lab. He notices things about her. He knows already. He knows. I know he knows. I know he knows. But he knows. He knows. The Inquisitor was the first to step through the doorway. He coldly ordered, "Let's go." The beams of their flashlights didn't reach the far end of the hall. Yeah. Oh, we are looking like her, by the way. Letizia really, and these, they kind of look alike a little bit, like Lou, with Lou. Yeah. My Lou, yes. A shame, I know she's not good, but I love her, to be honest. I know, I also liked her when I saw her. I think it's not her fault, Fairozan. But we will talk about it later. We can't spoil her. Turning their heads, they instinctively groaned up, pressing their backs together. Let's try adding more light. Green tubes rolled across the floor in different directions. Farouk, Lou, and Mark and Daniel looked around. The darkness receded. They were in the heart of the laboratory. The room was huge. The high ceiling, drowning in the darkness, was supported by thick columns. There were drain gutters on the floor. Massive stainless steel tables reflected the cold light menacingly. Some had stands of test tubes, others held devices whose purpose an outsider could only guess. Lou recognized only a cardiograph and a skin analyzer. She had seen them during her medical examinations and because her boyfriend is a doctor. They took away all the expensive microscopes, robotic surgical systems, and other such machines. Why didn't they take everything? He took out his phone and typed something on it. Daniel spoke from across the room. Computers. Some of these are dinosaurs, of course. Farouk moved slowly around the perimeter of the room. Jean-Cyr continued to study the equipment carefully. Lou's attention was drawn to a shallow basin raised high above the floor. Several large panes of glass hung above it. This could have been screens. The reflection from them were streamed in very high resolution to the monitors of the scientists who were controlling the process. Process? This is a disassembled vivisection table. Lou had to make an effort not to recoil. She calmly took a few steps to the side, toward a table that was standing there. As she approached, Lou realized that it was actually a table. Crap, that's a bed with straps. Don't imagine yourself in it, just gather information. Inspect the buckles. The straps had become stiff and dry over the years. It was no longer possible to get any information from them. The steel buckles on their fastenings were worn down. They had obviously been used a lot, and for a long time. Lou pursed her lips tightly and took a closer look. Yeah, that's right. For how many years did they fasten and unfasten them? These straps have definitely been replaced many times if the metal is that thin. She threw the buckle aside as if it was something vile. Fucker, scientist, fuck you! She directed the beam of her flashlight into a corner. What kind of boxes are those? Lou opened one of them, then a second one. Nothing. Oh, and this one contains vials. They are empty too. Why store them? For internal audit? Why does it say one of them? Just ordinary vitamins. Closing the box, Luke frowned thoughtfully. I heard something about vitamins just the other day. It's funny, everyone cares about their health, even those who work in laboratories like this. Where did I hear about that? Probably from Jonas. Behind her, Farouk screamed sharply. Oh, shit! Lou rushed toward the voice. She reached the officer at the same time as Mark. Then she froze, looking at Farouk's find. Sorry I scared you, just hear this. There was a body suspended in a large glass cylinder filled with a yellowish liquid. Farouk redirected the beam of the flashlight. There is more. What the fuck? What the... Lou swore for a good while. Normally, I don't condone that kind of language, Reed, but you are right this time. Daniel approached them. Oh, United One. Monsieur Johnstier, I've never asked about things I'm not supposed to know about, but this is a bit much. Did they experiment on people here? Yes. The Prior is conducting an official investigation into this. Need I remind you of our secrecy orders? No. All information goes to him personally and to no one else. I understand. Let's continue, Mademoiselle Weiss. Shall we check there? Daniel pointed to a plastic case that seems untouched by time. There is a combination lock. I unlocked it. Shall we open it? Mark carefully examined the case from all sides. There are no warning labels. Yes, Mirai vibes. There were 2 containers inside. Containers, examine them. What are these? Containers like these are used for the long-term storage of biological materials. Here, do you see the symbols? If you open them, the content can be ruined unless they are empty, of course. Jean-Pierre put one of the cylinders into his backpack. He gave the second one to Lou. No, we won't open them. What about the computers? The hard drives have all been removed, all except one. That computer over there used to have 2 hard drives. The primary one was taken, but the secondary drive is still there. Why would that be? Either they forgot or they didn't notice. Jean-Pierre looked at her skeptically. How could the staff not have noticed? I have a feeling that those who closed the laboratory weren't the most competent employees. And look, she crouched down next to an overturned piece of equipment. Some medical devices have their own processors, operating systems, and built-in memory. I have only tapped into this one so far. The data hasn't been deleted, so we can download it. In fact, I have already done that. What kind of data? Numbers, graphs, it's very specialized data. We will need a doctor to look at them. The flash drives in them are old. They may even fall apart literally. I have started checking and copying all the information I found onto my drive. Then I will remove the media and pack it carefully. Mark looked at his watch again. Is there any way we can speed up the process? Can we help? Just don't get in the way. Lou walked away, following the man. Did you find anything noteworthy? There is a hole in one of those things with wires. I have a suspicion that it was from a bullet. It's strange to say at least the least. Who needed to shot here? And at whom? There is a bed on wheels. It's made of metal and has belts to strap someone in with. I looked at the buckles. They are heavily worn down. I don't think 5 years could do that kind of damage. Also, those tanks with corpses in them. Yeah, everything here was very well organized. And then, bam, it was all taken away. Jonsier glanced sideways at Lou, approval in his eyes. We seem to have the same thoughts. We are noticing the same strange things. The theory of the lab closing due to lack of results is becoming more and more doubtful. Everything is throughout. Everything is thorough, but the shell casings. Okay. Ivo didn't send us here for nothing. The vicar clearly didn't tell us everything about this project. There are doors on that wall. Behind one of them is a corridor. It leads to the crematorium. No one would build a crematorium for the sake of a few dead people. That's what I'm saying. After taking several photographs, the Inquisitor said, Reed, let's check the remaining rooms. Farouk, stay with Mademoiselle Weiss. There were open doors on both sides of the corridor leading at the lab. Behind each door was a 40-square-foot room with an iron bed, a toilet, and a tiny lamp hanging from the ceiling. Monsieur Jonsier, this is where they kept the people they experimented on, isn't it? Instead of answering, Mark suggested, You can go back to the others if you don't feel well. Go back? To the corpses floating in those aquariums? Brrr, no thanks. I'd rather be here. Let's go then. There were quite a few doors. In some places the beds were made. In others the sheets and thin mattress were rolled up. Lou slowed down for a moment when she saw a mangled bed. It was crushed with telekinesis and thrown against the wall. Yes, there are marks of the concrete. Read. Mark was looking at the opposite room. Lou looked too. There was no bedding at all, just some black dirt on the bed. The inside of the door, the walls, and the ceiling were very dark. Lou rubbed the plaster with her finger and spoke. Soot. Pyrokinetic. Definitely. They moved on. Bed, toilet, linen. Bed, toilet, and nothing else. In one of the last rooms that Lou entered, there was a sheet of paper lying on a rotten blanket. She carefully picked it up and turned it over. The rigid protective barrier that she had built as a form of professional detachment suddenly broke, exposing her soul to a hard blow. Lou started having trouble breathing. Her body suddenly felt weak, as if refreshing to exist in a world like that. She sank onto the bed. Her trembling hand held a child's drawing. Yes. Oh my god, it's crazy. Wow, I've got goosebumps. I've got goosebumps. Yes. It had likely been glued to the wall with something, and then when the laboratory was vacated, the glue dried up and the paper fell. Not quite understanding why she was doing it, Lou put the drawing into her backpack as carefully as if it were a living thing. Without fastening the flap, she looked around again. A 4-square-foot room, an iron bed, a toilet, and an entrance door. This was someone's life, a whole life. She's crying, look at her. Tears streamed down her cheeks. Lou clenched her fists, trying to keep her sigh from bursting out with rage. Her dry lips mouthed silently. This can't happen again. It must never happen again to anyone. Jean-Cier's footsteps echoed in the corridor. He had already reached the end and was coming back. Lou closed her eyes and wiped away her tears. She looked out of the room. She moved the flashlight away from her face and pulled herself together. Her fist was still painfully clenched, helping her to concentrate on work. Mark's face is so like... The Inquisitor looked strange, too. He was either thoughtful or confused. Monsieur? There is no need for you to go down there. Farouk and Mademoiselle Weiss are probably already waiting for us. Warning! The Romance Club team is against any form of cruelty and only strives to tell the story more thoroughly. The next scene may be too graphic for someone. Please consider your next choice carefully. See it all for yourself. Salute! Is that an order? No. Then I want to know what you found. After all, I have to report to the prior too. As you wish. Lou followed Mark. They entered the shower room. Fuck. We will need to see all the bad to build up our rage about bringing down this church. Look at these bones. Look at all these bones. At first, Lou didn't understand what was in front of her. When her brain realized what she was looking at, she pressed a hand to her mouth. Bones. Shit. Watch your step, Reed. Be careful. She obediently lowered her flashlight. The floor was covered with shell casings. Lou forced herself to shine the light back on the remains. There are different types of cloths. I think there are lab coats in there too. Yes, I believe these are both those who were kept in those cells and the scientists who worked in the laboratory. They were herded here and shot. There are holes in skulls and broken bones and bullet holes in the walls. There is a similar scene behind the next door. What happened here? Why? Why do it this way? To protect... The project was completely called off. I am almost done. How about you? When the Inquisitor told the others about the dead, keeping things very vague with as few details as possible, Farouk whistled and Weiss shook her head in horror. It's going to get dark out there soon. I originally planned to spend the night here, but Daniel suggested strongly. Let's find someplace else. Farouk agreed with her idea. It's a big factory. Let's move to the next building. I'm going to download data from 2 more devices, and a grinding and cracking sound came from the entrance. Everyone turned sharply in that direction. The door! Get out! Everyone, out! Danielle grabbed her computer and ran without even unplugging the cord. It flew out on its own and remained dangling from some kind of medical device with light bulbs. Mark and Lou took off after Weiss. Farouk, whose loaded backpack slowed his speed, fell behind. In the darkness, the officer did notice a table in time and bumped into it with his hip. He knocked it down and fell after it. Lou almost crashed into a chair, but she kicked it away and hurried on. Mark, moving faster, helped Daniel, and then they were out through the automatic door. Lou saw that it was already half closed but froze. Hurry up! It was only a few feet to the exit. The door suddenly jerked a little more. Lou had enough time. She was going to make it, but not Farouk. Damn it, try to save Farouk! Putting everything she could into her telekinesis, Lou pressed the door with her fucking psi. Ah! It froze a few inches before closing, and then, with a Nazi grinding sound resisting the movement, it began to move again. Reed, don't stand there! Farouk hit her in the back, pushing her into the opening and jumping after her. They both rolled on the floor. The door slammed shut. Bam! Lou pushed herself up on her elbows and was able to sit up at first, but then she lost consciousness. I like it, this music. She awoke to find herself lying in the familiar workshop. Yes. Lou covered her face with her hands and curled up into a fetal position. She let out a muffled groan. Her eyes hurt. Farouk was nearby. Reed, can you hear me? Uh-huh. Of course. Let me help. The man wiped her blood away with a wet handkerchief. The fabric was already soaked in red. That wasn't the first time Farouk had wiped away her tears. Without making an attempt to get up, the psionic asked, squinting, "How long have I been lying here?" "About 10 minutes. It looks like you saved my life." Is everyone okay?" "Yes." Mark appeared nearby. "Close your eyes now, Reed, and don't open them for now. You have really strained yourself. We will find a suitable place to stay for the night, then we will take you there. Should we look in the office building?" "I guess so." Lou obediently closed her eyes. "The office building, that's the furthest from here." "That's good." The night passed peacefully. No one wanted to discuss what they had seen in the laboratory. Everyone had enough of their own impressions. In the morning, the group got into the car and drove away from the former factory. The route was already familiar and Farouk drove quickly but carefully. True. That old road could throw at them an unpleasant surprise at any moment. We did it, guys. We did it. After putting on their wigs once more, they crossed the perimeter again. I never did that. I regretted it immediately, replayed the whole episode so I could save him again. Interesting, really. He will stuck here, I think, yeah? He will not die? I think. It was so graphic, I have never regretted anything more in my life. He died? He died, the door slammed him? The door will close on him and split him in half. Oh, fucking shit. It's better to stay here and wait for help, I think. Alright. Oh. After putting on their wigs, once more they crossed the perimeter again. After passing the post, the Inquisitor immediately turned on his phone and dialed a number. Monsieur Merton, yes. The condition of all group members is satisfactory. We are traveling with cargo, I understand. He caught the connection. Lou turned on her phone. 8 calls from Irma and a message. What happened? Jonas's place was searched. Shit. Lou? Oh, no, it's nothing, sorry. Personal stuff, a friend is in trouble. My boyfriend is in trouble, you mean? She texted the healer. Are you okay? A reply came immediately. Yes. Lou relaxed. She didn't even realize when she dozed off. Lou stepped out of the shower. She had called Jonas as soon as she got home. He was at work and couldn't talk, but he assured her that everything was fine. Lou sat down in front of the mirror. Oh! Is it really? First nice haircut. But I don't like that her eyes are closed a little bit. Elegant? Oh, good. It's also not very bad, but... How to buy everything? I want to buy everything. Why you don't give me to buy everything? Foo, stupid romance club. It's better to buy a black hair. Okay. They are so greedy. Foo, romance club became so greedy. Kay met her in the empty waiting room. He smiled. He is waiting. The prior was alone. When he saw Lou, he rose from his table and motioned to the chair opposite him. Hello, Lou. I'm glad you're safe. The feeling is mutual. They both sat down. Yes. I let Daniel go home. Replay Psy again. In some stories you can go back with this doesn't fit. You have to do it over and over and over for all. And on others, without this option, you just can't get... Yes, Mirai vibes. It's so stupid. On 7 Heart stories, it's the same though, but they don't have the get all option either. Yes, but at least you can buy everything in 7 Heart Stories. I thought I can like buy choose again and again and buy all the hair, but no. I let Daniel go home. Mark is sorting out the containers and the data from the discs you brought back. He sent Farouk to return the car and equipment. On 7 Heart Stories, you can buy all the clothes on the wardrobe again. Like, even if you didn't bought it, you will be able to buy it later. I decided that, well, I still remember everything. Eva raised a hand. All reports can wait until tomorrow. Today, you rest. How is Monsieur Borezzi? Satisfied. Yes. I'm not moving from my desk and I hardly meet anyone. Ivo. Lou hesitated, trying to ask her question in a better way. The house of a friend of mine was searched. His name is Jonas Beer. Jonas Beer. Not a friend of mine, but my lover. Let's see. Martin nodded and became more serious. The healer, I remember. I know about the search. Don't worry, I read Guller's report. Nothing illegal was found on Monsieur Beer. Lou narrowed her eyes. What happened? Why did Guller conduct the search? He's busy looking for the hacker. On what grounds did he harass Jonas? So because things didn't work out the way he wanted, now he's trying to harm me through my friends? Lou, is there something I don't know? Yes! Lou bit her lip. She hadn't planned on telling him about that. Well, I had a disagreement with him. A big one. That depends. He offered to further my career via his bed. I didn't appreciate it. He was very offended. Martin seemed to notice that Lou wasn't in the mood to delve into the subject, so he didn't pursue it further. Yes. He knows. Finally he knows. And finally he knows. Okay, we will come back to this later. Regarding this search, I think personal grudges had nothing to do with it. Yes. Packets of anti-government flyers were found in the hospital where your friend works. And the recent projector hackings are being seen as possible call to disobedience. This is the console's main angle, and the vicar insists on it as well. Shit. I see. Both the flyers and the holograms show dissatisfaction with the authorities. That means they could be related, so it's only natural that Hans Guller would investigate. Right, the projectors display the Psi symbol. Bayer is a psionic who was detained by the police not too long ago. Naturally, they decided to check on him again. And those flyers, did you find out who they belonged to? No, they were in a pink bag with yellow smiley faces on it. Quite noticeable, and yet no one saw who brought it to the hospital. That's all. The cameras didn't pick up the owner on the bag either. Either they knew about the blind spots or they were very lucky. Eva's gaze lingered on Lou for a moment. Lou. Eva's expression changed. Power, strength, and danger were clearly noticeable in his tone. I have to ask. Yes? Does the phrase blood manifest mean anything to you? Lou shook her head. No, this is the first time I've heard it. Why? Martin's expression returned to normal. The text of the flyers is marked as blood manifest. It is a set of statements and principles put forward to replace the declaration and the postulates. Oh well, a life like his would make anyone either paranoid or dead. Any other questions about Jonas? No, but if you are still worried, go. Rest and go visit your friend. Thank you. My boyfriend! Lou walked out the door and approached Kay. You're tired. You can tell me everything later. You won't have to hold yourself back. She didn't know if he saw it or felt it, but he got it all right. Something is bothering you. Really? I need to see Jonas. Kay wanted to ask something, but he changed his mind so as not to keep her. Lou accelerated. Wait, my English is not very good. Yeah, you can, yeah. Lou accelerated. Everything seemed to have turned out okay, but she wanted to talk to Jonas and make sure that the healer wasn't in trouble. Oh! I didn't expect it. I will be so happy to see him. I missed him, really. It was a long trip. I missed him. My man too. Come on in. Did you clean everything up? What do you mean? Oh, after the search, yes. Your colleagues put on quite a show here. They were stomping around, scattering everything and spitting on the floor. They behaved like cattle. Lou, how do you work with people like that? Ignoring the question, she said, the prior said you are off the hook. Jonas angrily said, I'm so happy. Imagining how disgusting and humiliating it must have felt to have someone turn your house upside down, Lou shook her head. The healer flicked his lighter. And did your boss happen to say what exactly they were looking for? The Inquisitor who came in with the search team didn't bother to explain. They found some kind of bag in your hospital, some crappy pink bag, and it contained anti-government flyers. The healer rubbed his face. Wow, motherfuckers. That's punishable by hanging. Jonas, you are not an Inquisitor. Guller didn't mention me? No, should he have? Well, he could have. We know each other and he probably knows that you are from my social group, and it was probably because of me that the search was done so harshly. Great. Can I get you something? No need, I'm dead tired. I want to sleep. Sleep here. Lou thought for a second, then nodded. In that case, I will have something. Jonas stood up, then he said, this won't do. He pulled Lou toward him and kissed her hungrily, like he usually did. That's more like it. Yeah, perhaps that was all I needed. Is that all? Uh-huh. What about knowledge and your service to the church? Stop it. He let her go, then opened the refrigerator. Then suddenly, he froze and stared at her strangely. What's wrong? He turned pale. Did you say a pink bag? Yeah, with smiley faces. Bright and yellow. Yes, Jonas? I remember who I saw carrying a bag just like that. Oh! I will not say thank you today. Okay, just a little thank you. Because I wanted to buy all the hair. And you didn't give me the opportunity, so little thank you only.